Greetings, family. I'm here to talk about my feelings about all of the theft, burglary, and other issues of that kind that are taking place on a continent. Of course, this is a concern for people that are thinking about moving to the continent because we don't really want to have to worry about, our belongings, the few things that we actually decide to bring with us being stolen. And as I was thinking about uh, the burglaries that have taken place against diasporans, I realized that this theft issue is not just a problem for African Americans or people from the UK. Like, it's happening to Native Africans, people who have lived on a continent, who were born on a continent. And I guess what's disturbing for me is this notion that it's like normalized, right? It's like, oh, they won't be back. They just wanted your stuff. Or, oh, you don't have to worry about being killed because that's not what they're going to do. I'm like, it just kind of blows my mind, right? And then I have to think about, you know what? I'm not even angry at these cowardly thieves. I realize that this is a bigger issue. Is this a systemic issue? Is this an issue that filters down from the top? Do we have thieves and robbers as leaders? And that's why people on the lower levels of our society think that it's okay to steal? It's kind of like a parent telling a child not to do something, but they're not setting the example. They're not modeling what that looks like. So my general feeling was like, this is just so much bigger than, oh, they're stealing from one person that has more than them and taking it. Because then after they take it, right, it goes through a whole process. We know that there's a black market. We know that there's people that run the black market. I'm assuming that's how it's done in the States, right? Whether it's pawn shops or whatever, I'm assuming that there's similar things there. And we know that there are certain people that have this history of being thieves. So please tell me at some point that these folks got caught, right? Because then my thing is, if a theft takes place in a certain area, then you should be addressing the thieves that you know in that area. Because if they didn't do it, guess what? They know who did it. And then that's where the policemen come in, right? Or law enforcement. Then I'm finding that people don't really regard the police in the same way. Like, there's a different type of relationship with the police. A respectful one, I hope, because I know I'm always thrilled to see police officers on a continent, but I'm told that the police are viewed as like a limp wrist, right? LIMP, limp wrist. Like, you know, not this, but this. Like, they have no power or no authority or that they're incapable. I don't even know where that comes from again because I don't live on a continent. All I could think is maybe the lack of resources makes them ineffective, or they just don't take these little crimes seriously because it's so few of them and so many people, which is not a good thing, right? Because then it's like, if I can't get the justice I deserve, do I go about getting that myself? Yeah, it's kind of messy. It's a messy situation. I was doing some research because I was like, I don't want to just come on and talk about what should happen to these thieves, right? Because we know that Africa has a way of taking care of thieves, right? I've seen people beaten. I saw a woman stripped naked walking down the street in one video I saw, right? I think it was in Nigeria. She was stealing cell phones or something, and they stripped her naked and beat her. And I guess they were walking her to the police station down the middle of the road. It was like a walk of shame, right? Couldn't feel sorry for her because I know she did something wrong. I don't know if that was to the extreme, though. Um, I think it has to do with people wanting the person to be shamed. So that's why they do that. I don't know if walking her with her clothes on would have been more appropriate, though, right? Um, Who knows? Maybe they had to rip her shirt off to get the stuff from her. I have no idea, but she was definitely walking down the middle of the road. Not even a road, like a major public street, just naked, right? I'll put the link, not the hashtag for the video where I saw that. It'll be in the description. Um, then I saw a man, right? A man that was stealing. He got caught stealing, and they show him tied like a hog pig over a piece of wood, right? Like a rectangular flat piece of wood plank. They had him tied hands. He was bound. His hands were bound to his ankles. And so the wood was like under his arms, and he was just yelling. Could you imagine all his weight under his armpits like that? He was just yelling, yelling, crying, begging for them to let him down. Nobody was letting him down. He got caught. Then I saw another thief on his knees begging. His face was all swollen. He was bloody. On his knees begging for people to stop beating him, hitting him, let him go. Apparently, this thief was caught going into people's homes while they were in church. Taxi cab drivers caught him, right? So I don't know. I mean, there's so many ways to punish people who do the wrong thing, but again, I would like to see that they are caught and educated and have to do some kind of community service, right? You stealing from people, now you need to go and clean them people yard, or come and do the task that you should be doing, go and do something in the community, assign them to clean up the streets, right? That's what they do in the States for what you might call a petty crime. Because I don't know if burglary would be, I think it's a petty crime if no one was hurt, right? Some states it's a felony depending on how much you steal. So it depends on like where you live, but there should be a punishment in place. There should be rules in place, an authority in place to address these people. If the police are not able to handle it, then a community group, a community watch should be in place to say, listen, we've been seeing this person, he's been eyeing your house, or we saw this individual snooping around looking. Do you know this person, right? This is where it comes in that we talk about it takes a village, but it doesn't just take a village to raise a child. It takes a village for us to survive collectively and as a community, and it always disturbs me when we commit crimes against each other. Do we do this to the other man, to them other people that have been raping the country for centuries? Does it even occur to these thieves to steal from them? Because I don't think they realize that people are selling everything they have to come to the continent, and what they come with is it, right? Some of them coming with they last of their life savings, or they giving up a lifestyle to come, and who gives them the right to take that? So like I said, we need some kind of group, a community watch, or there's a group called, let me see, I even wrote the name down because I did not want to forget, right? This group is called, um, it's a taxi group. Let's see. I told y'all about the man that was tied across the plank, hands and feet bound. The man that was beaten, the thief caught from the church. Yeah, I don't see the one. I'll have to find out what it is, but it's a group of men. Oh, the Ioma Taxi Association. There was a young girl, young sister. I'm not even going to repeat the details, but this young sister was sexually assaulted by these horrible animals, and two of them got caught and the rest of them didn't. And the young girl, she went to the taxi association. When the police didn't catch them, she went to the taxi association and she told them what these men did to her, which could not have been easy to have to repeat that. But she was determined to have justice. She wanted them caught and beaten. And a man said to her, is that what it will take for you to stop crying? And she said yes. And they was like, it's done. See, that's the kind of justice I need. I need some immediate actions for thieves, right? And the funny thing about thieves is they come in all forms, right? We act like it's just strangers that burglarize your house, but guess what? Sometimes it's your family. It's the people you date, right? Like, don't break up with somebody and think things are cool and people gonna go their own way. And then the thief decide, you handling this too well. I have to find a way to hurt you. And so on their way out, they're taking things that don't belong to them. And then when you go to the authorities say, well, you let them in. That was your partner. They're on the lease too. I've seen men and women do that. Somehow when the men do it, it always seems worse because you're like, how does a grown man, quotes on man, steal from a woman, especially a woman with children? How does that happen? Does that man have no respect for himself? And what is he stealing unless he's a crackhead, right? What are you stealing? What is your point? Because you know that this person don't need you, so you figure you gotta have some kind of spiteful, childish way about you, hateful way about you, right? I don't know too many females who take things. I've seen females move out and clean the house out, and the brother come home and be like, "Where's my stuff?" I've seen females do that. But men, when they do it, they do spiteful stuff like take all the remote controls, take all the tools. Just like, what? I don't know. A thief is a thief, okay? So that's my general feeling about it. But like I said, I believe this problem is bigger than just the little thieves on the bottom. I think somehow the thievery on the top has seeped down and infiltrated the society. And now people feel like they can steal too. We have to model better. We have to be better. And we have to come up with solutions for this because this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Because quite honestly, I would hate to be the one to catch somebody in the dark trying to come in my house, right? Because my instinct would be I have to grab a knife, I have to grab a hammer, I have to grab this big stick that I keep by my bed. And I'm not going to stop to whatever it is, stop moving. So I really hope I don't have no encounters like that coming to the continent. You coming in love and peace and you trying to help people and build. If you come to the continent trying to build, to take care of folks, to build legacies and generations, when somebody come and cuts into that, how are you going to still build? It will be a longer process because now you suffered a setback. You might even say, I'm not going to give to this community if this is how it is and I'm leaving, right? What's interesting? I had put a logo on one of my videos and somebody contacted me like, I can't believe because you saw this other video of these people getting robbed that now you promote in this other country. And I was like, I'm not really sure where that came from. And then I realized, sometimes we have those differences in the culture, but because I show a flag from one country does not mean that is the only country I support. And I think in Africa, when people do that, it's different. When they hold a flag, that is their flag and no other country. And I feel like I belong to the whole of Africa. When I hold a flag, I hold it like this is part of who I am. But I'm African American, right? So I didn't understand the remark, right? And then I thought to myself, what is this individual thinking? Even if I did say, I'm not going to this place because these kind of things happen, I'm a single woman. So wouldn't it occur to that individual like, oh, I could see why you might be scared because as a woman coming here, I could see you might feel like you're in danger. Because if y'all think people were scared to come to the continent before, let them find out that there's stealing going on. and they got to worry about being robbed. They will stay in the States and say, well, let me deal with whatever I'm dealing with. If I have to come all the way to Africa to deal with theft, then why? I could stay here in my safe little place and just be unhappy and not worry about that. I'm really hoping this doesn't deter people from coming. It's not going to deter me because my plans are my plans and I know where I'm being called. I said it before, I'll say it again. Sierra Leone is where I want to build my home. Gambia is where I want to go to help people build. I've got involved in numerous projects there, and that's where I want to be as well. But can I live in 2 or 3 countries? I think that's possible in Africa, right? And that's the plan. But this whole thing that people got money and stuff for you to steal, it's not cool. It's not cool at all. It really isn't. I've said so many times, so many of us live on budgets. We trying to hold it together, and the whole point on coming to the continent is because we can stretch what we have. I don't know. It's just it is disturbing. It is disheartening. But I know we live with thieves here. They just steal from you indirectly. They hit your bank account. They hit your paycheck, right? Taxes on the food, taxes on the gas. You get an education, they taxing that too. So they just find ways to take from you in disguise. This issue of burglary is a way that is more direct and more painful because you can't believe your own people are doing this to you, right? Not even your people, people that look like you, because we know all kinfolk ain't skinfolk. All skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Figure that one out. It is what it is. But I'm hoping we find a solution to this because some good people are really suffering setbacks, and I think many of us are moving to the continent hoping that this is a place we can be. Not that we have to be fearful. And for local people who live there, who work so hard to get their money, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine that blow. It's not normal. It should not be normal. It should not be accepted. People should be outraged. And you know who it is, right? You got to know because think about it. If you have that neighbor who never have money and always begging people, and all of a sudden they shining, they buying new things, word be on the street about who doing what. Like I said, them police need to grab up them thieves and find out who is doing this and put a stop to it. Hardworking people should not have to worry about somebody who don't want to work coming to steal from them. That is some real BS. Get off your behind. Ask somebody for help. Ask them for a job. And then your money would last longer. Not the quick money that you steal from people. But come and knock on somebody's door and say, listen, do you have any work I could do? Can I be of assistance? I don't know, y'all. I'm probably preaching to the choir because I'm pretty sure the people that's on YouTube, not the folks that's stealing. But I'm also thinking the people that's on YouTube be watching the people that's on YouTube. People that's stealing be watching the folks that be on YouTube to see where they at and what they doing. And you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. Your parents must be ashamed of you. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think I did my little talk. Um, my last thing to add was that I saw an African broom trick to detect the thief. What if we use that African broom trick on our leaders and all of them folks coming down that thief at the bottom. Would that African broom trick tell us who the thieves are? Check it out. The African broom trick. Blessings, family. Wrapping it up.